Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video. So today I have a create a sim which was kind of experimental. I wasn't actually thinking that this was gonna go anywhere good because I was like, I'm gonna hit the record button, and I really wanted to try and recreate a character from the movie Turning Red, which came out I think 2 weeks ago now, and I saw it around that time. And let me just tell you, for one, that is probably one of my new favorite animated films. It was so good, and the fact that it was also set in the early 2000s just felt very nostalgic to me, and it just genuinely made me happy. I honestly love the story in itself, the characters, the style of the characters, like everything about it just made me enjoy the movie like wholeheartedly. And I mean, I love me a good animated film. I love the Disney animated films, but something about Pixar movies just hits different for me. I don't know what. This one was just extremely enjoyable for me, and I'm literally considering about watching it again because it's such a good movie. And so I was like, I kind of want to try and recreate a character from it because I'm not really one to like do many recreations on my channel. I've tried in the past a little bit. My most recent would probably be like the Scooby-Doo gang, but at that point I wasn't actually trying to recreate them exactly as like they are in the shows or anything like that. I was kind of inspired by them more so than like trying to recreate them exactly or anything like that. But I think the closest thing that I've ever done was my Lilo and Stitch create a sim, which I'm still pretty proud of that one. But this one in particular, I originally was going for May. I kind of wanted to make her, but for some reason as I was working on her, I just couldn't see May in the sim, and so I ended up like seeing more of Abby, which also I absolutely adore, like that whole friend group so much. But Abby's chaoticness literally was so funny, and she has my heart. Like, I freaking love her so much. But I think at some point I'd like to try and recreate the others, but as you guys saw, I tried to make May as a child first, but the thing is about kids in Sims 4 is like I feel like their faces aren't as malleable as like a teen or an adult is. So I made her teen instead, which honestly made the process of working on the sim so much easier for me. And you know what's weird is like now that I'm looking back at the footage, I can kind of see May a little bit more now than I did when I was initially working on her. So maybe I wasn't that far off, and now I kind of wish I saved her base like this so I could maybe go back and work on her, but I completely went from May to transitioning to making Abby, so I don't have the base for her. But I think the only thing is like with making sims like this is just don't look at the side profile because it just doesn't look that great. I tried to move the face around so much. Like obviously this is way more cartoony, and I'm not saying by any means that this looks exactly like her. Like I tried my best here. The eyes I think are probably one of the hardest parts. The nose is a little bit tricky too, but making the eyes kind of a similar shape to how they are in the movie is so hard. I feel like if maybe I had a preset that made eyes a little bit bigger, maybe at that point it would have been a little bit easier to shift them to look more like them. But I don't know, it was just fun to try and experiment with a different style than like I'm used to. I feel like this is something I should try a little bit more, but I don't know what else I would do other than like, the style that I go, which is kind of like Maxis Mix. Then we have like this super cartoony like Pixar style. What else would I do? I don't even know. Like hyper realism, I guess I've already done before as well, but what else is there that I could like try for style? Like I don't know. Maybe like more Maxis Match, like, without using my realistic contacts and some of the skin overlays that I use. Maybe that's something I should try. But I will say I genuinely had so much fun making this. I made this sim I think like a few days back, and I kept going back to it. I literally thought I was done for the longest time, and then I realized I never gave her accessories or shoes, and so literally I had to go back and like do that. And then I was like, oh, like what if I got like a height slider, which you guys will see all this obviously a little bit later. I was hoping I could make her a lot shorter because it would have been so cute to have like her little short self in here. But I mean, she also is a teen, so I feel like that you can only go a certain height with them. But I don't know, I think the other thing with this is with the faces in the movie, which by the way I didn't even say this, but like I highly suggest if you haven't seen Turning Red, definitely go see it. And if you did see it, let me know what you thought in the comments. I would love to hear. But anyways, back to my point. So the faces in the movie, they're so round, and I wanted to try and recreate that so bad. But the thing is like with how the Sims are, their jawlines are a little bit more structured. So it was hard to really get like their face super round, and the chin was sticking out as well. So, you know, there is that. But I tried. I feel like I spent so long working on her. Like, I don't even know how long I actually spent, but I went back multiple days to kind of like go and like fix her up and stuff like that. But I ended up finding like the perfect outfit. I was like, oh, I already have these overalls, because I was trying to find ones that she was wearing. But then I saw these ones from Trilike, which apparently, I don't even say the name right. I don't even know the proper pronunciation, but I saw a tweet where they were saying that there's two options, which was like Trilike and then Triliki, I think it was. And then they said underneath that tweet that none of those are like the proper pronunciation. I'm like, wait, what? So there's also that. But this hair, I feel like, is perfect. I wish that it was a little bit more like structured how Abby's is, but I couldn't find a hair. I literally spent so long. I like took a point where I paused the recording because I needed to try and find the perfect hair, and I couldn't. So I was like, you know what, whatever, like this is the closest we're gonna get. But then I had the fabulous idea of being like, hey, like maybe I could try and make the hair. And this is where things went wrong. I was like, you know, let me go ahead and give it a shot. I looked at some tutorials. Some were actually very helpful, and then I got stuck. So I was like, I ended up posting the photo to Twitter, and it just was so bad, like very embarrassing. Because if you guys don't know, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to trying new things, I always expect to be perfect at it immediately, which is such an unrealistic expectation of myself, because that's not possible. You can't be perfect at everything. But that's the same thing with me and like going in and drawing. Like if let's say I'm going off a reference and it doesn't come out exactly, then I'm just like, I give up, because I just expect to be great at everything, but it's just not realistic. I don't know why I'm like that, but it is how it is. So I went ahead, tried it, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not doing it. Then a couple days later, I tried again, and this time, you know, things were trying to work out a little bit better. I looked at some more tutorials. I was getting a bit more of a gist of how to go about things, and I ended up coming up with this, and well, it doesn't properly work because the headband piece doesn't work, and the hair is still not that great. Again, this is me like doing my first ever actual like type of hair, because I don't do this stuff. And then I was like, maybe there's something on Tumblr that I can find. And then I saw aharris00 Brittany posted a hair with the bangs and the hair going back, and I already had a headband, and it kind of worked out. Although there is minor clipping with the headband on the left side, but honestly, a little Photoshop won't hurt when I go to edit the photos. So that's the only thing. But it honestly doesn't bother me. It's nothing crazy. Like if half the headband was clipping, then maybe I wouldn't use it. But this is a-okay with me. But then again, me being indecisive and looking at photos of Abby, I'm just like, there's still something off about her. And thankfully I went back and fixed her lips again, and I think they suit her a little bit more now, especially like the shape and stuff. So I think it's a lot more accurate. I just wish that I could move the features more, but I guess there's just like a grid on the Sims face where they can only move a certain amount, which kind of sucks, because I would have obviously made her features a lot closer together, especially the lips to the nose and even the nose to the eyes, although the nose to the eyes isn't that bad. But overall, I'm just really happy with how she turned out. I'm glad that I went back and fixed her every so often. But finally, I think I can say I'm done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this creative sim. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys in a new video very soon. Bye, guys.